In this video we're going to learn how to make flower and of course how to crochet in the round. We didn't do this yet. To crochet this piece of that you see is very easy if you already watched all the videos and learned how to crochet stitches. The stitches that are involved in crocheting this flower, all of them we learned and we know how to make them. The middle of the flower is made out of double crochet stitches. The petals, each petal made out of 3 stitches, have double crochet and treble crochet. Also each flower each petal begins with chain 1 and ends with chain 1, and then between each petal is connected to the main ring, to the main in the middle of the flower with slip stitch. So this is basically all to it. Only we need to crochet in the round without turning work left, right, so all the time in the round. And it does involve few steps to make this flower. First we'll have to make a ring with double crochets, 14 double crochets. Then we will start making petals, and of course when we learn how to do this, this is when I will show you also how to finish it and how to weave in the end of the flower. We never did talk about how to weave ends, the yarn that left, the yarn that you cut off after you finish your project. So for this project you will need a piece of yarn, a crochet hook, scissors and tapestry needle. So the first part of our lesson is how to make this ring. So pick up yarn and the hook and we will make a chain of 6 stitches. Also I'm going to show you something that I never showed you before. It's another way of making slip knot. So when you hold your yarn on your hand like this, right? Pick up the hook and insert it from you, away from you, on the left side of the yarn. Go up, pick it up and twist it. Go like 360 degrees, and this is twisted area is your slip knot. That way it's easy, you don't have to worry about tying a knot and then undo it. You're ready to crochet. So you have a base stitch and then chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So after you made a chain of 6 stitches, insert the hook into the beginning of your chain, right over here, right there. Pick up the yarn and crochet through both stitches in the hook. This is it. You connected your chain into a ring. Now we're ready to crochet our ring, the rest of it. We will have to crochet 14 double crochet stitches. In order to do that, you know that double crochet stitch is higher than single crochet or slip stitch. The turning chain is 3 stitches, so crochet 3 stitches. 3, 1, 2, 3. I think I made one more, but I don't need. Let me see one more time. 1, 2, 3. I think I was fine. Now you have this end right here, this short end of yarn that we need to weave in later. So in order to save our time, take this yarn and put around the ring clockwise like this and behind the ring right there. So this way, if when you will crochet around the ring and around that piece of yarn, that small piece of yarn that you will have to weave in at the end. Now yarn over, insert the hook inside that ring, grab the yarn, have 3 stitches in a hook, and we'll crochet like a normal double crochet stitch. So we made one, now we'll make next one. Remember please about that yarn, and if you forgot how many you crocheted, you can always come back and count. Don't count the turning chain, you count those 14 stitches. You need 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, so 10 more. And as you see, I have this end already crocheted around. Now we can come and cut this piece. We don't need it anymore. Make sure don't cut anything else. Okay, I have 14. So when you're done with 14 stitches, if you are not, you always can count them. Now we have to connect the ring, and this piece is actually sticking out in the front. We don't need it. I can cut more of it. If you have a little bit longer tail looking at you, you can cut it closer to the ring. Okay, now we have to connect the ring, the end with the beginning. So insert the hook into an area between the chain and the first stitch. Insert it in there, grab the yarn and pull this yarn through stitch on a hook. This is your slip stitch. So this is what we made for the middle of the flower, the ring. Now around that ring we're going to make petals, the first petal. So in order to make petal, chain 1. Each petal will begin with chain 1. And now we will crochet into the next stitch right over here, this stitch right after the chain of 3, or stitch over the first double crochet. Here is this one. Inside that stitch we will crochet 3 stitches, half double crochet, and treble crochet, all 3 stitches in one stitch of previous round. So half double crochet, you know how to make it. Yarn over, insert in the previous round, draw the yarn out and draw the yarn through all 3 stitches on the hook. Double crochet, insert the hook into the same area, and treble crochet, again insert the hook into the same stitch of the previous round. So we made treble crochet. Next we will crochet the same 3 stitches but in reverse order into the next stitch, right there, right here, and in reverse order. So the first one will be treble crochet, Next stitch will be double crochet and another stitch, half double crochet. Now chain 1 and we're done with the petal. Next step, into the next stitch on the round of the previous round, we make slip stitch. And we continue the same way, exactly the same way, crochet 4 more petals. So after you're done with 4 petals, if you will have this, we will continue, make the last petal and our flower is done. So you can stop the video, make 4 petals, and we will together make the last petal. I'll show you how to finish the flower. So my flower is ready for me to continue after you watched the video. So here's the 4th petal. I'm on a 4th petal. I will finish it with chain 1 and slip stitch into the previous round. Now when you look at the round, at our ring in the middle of a flower, there's 3 stitches left to crochet in. 1, 2 and 3 stitches. So the first 3 stitches will go into first stitch, the next 3 stitches will go here, it will be our petal will go into those 2 stitches, and a slip stitch will go into the last stitch right here where the first petal begin. So after you're done with that, again chain 1, half double crochet into first stitch, double crochet again in the same stitch, treble crochet into the same stitch of the previous round, treble crochet into the different stitch next to this one, then double crochet, half double crochet, chain 1, and the petal is finished. And now connect this petal into the previous round. I think I lost it. Like this. And now you can cut the yarn. My piece of yarn is really long in here and I'm not going to cut that one, but you can cut, well, I have to cut now because I have this knot by itself appeared. So cut the yarn 10 inches long, that will be just fine. Why I'm saying 10 inches? You need to weave in this end. You cannot just cut next to this place, simply because it will unravel your flower if you will cut a short piece. And we can work on this little hole that is here. I know you will have the same hole. So you will have to turn your flower in the back, take a tapestry needle, insert the yarn into it, and we're ready to weave in. Some people cut really short tails and weave in very short tail into their work. I don't recommend anyone, for any reason, no matter what yarn you use, cut long enough tail to weave in your ends, because you will wear this piece, you will wash it, and with time the short tail will always come out and unravel your work, your hard work. So 10 inches is just fine. If you work with really silky yarn, especially silk, rayon, please take even longer piece. You have to really work hard to hide that piece many times, different directions, right to left, left to right, to make sure that your piece of yarn is safe and it will not come out. Now, to weave in, that means that you will have to go under each of the stitches that on the back and insert needle in them and pull the needle with yarn through them in the opposite direction, and then you can go back in another direction. This way you kind of protect this yarn to come out. So the first move will be to insert the needle into the place next to the yarn where the yarn is coming out. So to me it's kind of like here. And the next step, insert, well, here's this hole. We want to rid of it. You don't need it because nowhere in the flower you have that hole. The middle is fine, but that one we can hide by connecting this place and the opposite side. Take 2 stitches on the back and kind of sew through them. Tight this, and when you look on the back, your hole disappeared. So now we can continue hiding this piece of yarn. And the way I do that, we're at the very center of the flower. It's nice to go right inside it 2-3 times around it, and then you can cut the end. And how you do this is just inserting the needle into those double stitches, those wide area, and you do that 2-3 times. I see sometimes people recommend cut very short tail, like inch or 2 long, and weave in. First of all, it's not easy to weave in with a needle. It's possible only to weave with the crochet hook, and still very short tail is not safe for your work. So don't be lazy. It takes time and it's not the most wonderful work to do. I, for example, don't like to weave in ends, but it is important. So weave in your ends, and when you're done, this is when you can cut that piece. And you're done with your flower, and your flower is finished.